with Mario Lopez.
What's up, y'all? Mario Lopez joining me now on Zoom from the new movie Harold and the Purple Crayon, actor Zachary Levi. Welcome to the show, man. How you been?
I'm good, Mario. How you doing? Looking great.
Thank you, my friend. Likewise. I saw the trailer and it looks so cute, this film. Congratulations. Harold and the Purple Crayon, definitely going to take the kids. What's it about?
Well, it's based on the children's book. I don't know if you ever read the children's book when you were a kid or if your kids have, but It's a really cute, simple, but really kind of profound children's book. It was written by Crockett Johnson back in the 50s and just continues to be a beloved children's book and piece of IP. And a lot of people have tried to make it into a movie over the years, and we finally did it. And I get to be this kind of grown-up version of Harold. He, in the book, he's like this little kid in footy pajamas, and he's using his creativity and imagination to draw things that come to life, and he learns lessons along the way. Yeah. And then at the beginning of the movie, you see that version of him, but then he grows up in this animated world, and then the narrator, his, kind of God character, really just disappears, and he gets very worried, and he knows that the narrator lives in the real world. And so Harold goes on this big adventure to the real world to go find the narrator and see what's going on. And when he does, he goes from living in this purple animated two-dimensional world to now living in this Technicolor three-dimensional real world. And then it's this crazy juxtaposition, because in Harold's world, there's no real pain, there's no real suffering or sadness or fear or anger. And now he's in the real world, and we know that's, the real world's full of a lot of those things. And so he's thrown into that, and he's learning what pain is for the first time. And there's something that's very hilarious about that, a grown man seemingly learning what it means to feel pain for the first time, but also all of the depth that comes with that, and the learning and the growing, and him and his friends that go along on the journey. So, at the end of the day, the movie, it's, it's fun for the whole family, really silly, fun. The kids, I think, definitely will thoroughly enjoy it. My nephews were raving about it. So if it means anything, my nephews think it's fantastic. But we really hit the movie really wants to leave the audience feeling inspired to stay creative, to stay imaginative, and to value yourself, to really believe in yourself, and know that at the end of the day, you are worthy of believing in yourself and valuing that.
Well, that's a great message. Also a fun cast. You got Lil Rel, Jermaine Clemens, Zooey Deschanel. Zach, family movies are really having a big year at the box office with Inside Out 2, Despicable Me 4. And you're no stranger to family movies. I think I may have told you before that Tangled was the #1 movie at Casa Lopez for years, and you were great as a Flynn Rider. And it was one I didn't mind watching over and over again.
It's a genius movie, man. I mean, Disney
really is. It's so good.
Yeah, they did a great job with that movie. And as a kid growing up with, Disney dreams my whole life, I always dreamed that I would be in a Disney animated musical, and then I got to be in one, and not just any, like it was a banger of a Disney musical. And so I was really grateful for that journey. And and even Shazam, though not like kid, like, I guess, I don't know, it was more PG-13, but still family entertainment. And now with Harold, I do hope that it's something that families want to go out and spend time in a theater. Because, it's like watching something at home, you can do that. We can all do that. And home entertainment systems have gotten so good that it's like, they're great. It's a great way to watch something. But when you watch something in a theater, you really get to experience it with a bunch of strangers. And I think one of the coolest things about it is that you laugh together, you cry together, you feel these things together, and it reminds you, oh, I don't know these people sitting to my right or left or behind me or in front of me, but we're all connected. We all feel in very similar ways, regardless of our backgrounds. I mean, by the way, Inside Out 2 is a perfect example of that. I think what an incredible movie that was. But dives deep into all of that emotional spectrum. I mean, man, I felt like I was going to therapy when I watched that movie. I literally cried so much. I was sitting in the theater. My girlfriend was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm okay. And this movie, I think, while we don't quite go to the same depths of the psychological, concepts, obviously that movie is based on it. We really do get to hit the spectrum of those emotions, because Harold on this adventure is learning a lot about, again, like I said, things like pain, things like sadness, things like grief, and and even, you know, frustrations that he wouldn't normally feel. And I think it's a cool way to introduce those concepts to children, and for adults then to have conversations with their kids about those things.
Yes, so smart the way they approach it. You're right. Also in the works, a thriller called Not Without Hope. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Yeah, Not Without Hope. We shot that. When did we shoot that? Last summer, maybe? I don't know. Time flies, right? Not Without Hope is a true story. It's a true story about these 4 guys who went fishing off the coast of Florida in 2009 and had a very unfortunate incident where they capsized their boat and a storm rolled in. And 3 of those 4 gentlemen ended up dying in
I
that.
remember this. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And 2 of them were NFL football players.
Yes, yes,
It was
yes.
a
This was an
tragedy.
incredible story. I
And
can't believe
yeah,
it.
and the guy, I end up playing the one gentleman who survived and who wrote a book about his experience.
He
And
was sick, right? And I remember he was sick and he had a jacket.
a big orange jacket.
Yeah, that big orange
And he
jacket.
was
Yes, I remember this.
45 minutes away from also passing away.
Oh,
Like the fact that he ended up being just clinging to the hull of this overturned boat,
yeah.
and the storm had finally passed enough, and they saw the base, like teeny little white that was the hull of the overturned boat, and they could just tell it different from the white caps of the ocean. And they found him and they saved him. But it's a harrowing story. It's a really, I mean, it is quite the opposite of a Harold and the Purple Crayon. It is definitely not for kids, and it is a really intense movie. Yeah,
I can't wait to check that out. Did you ever get to meet him?
I did. He came to visit set, and I got to I talked to him before we started shooting, and got to pick his brain a little bit about, you know, kind of what the experience was. And then he came and visited set, which was really interesting because it was quite literally, I mean, he's there, his wife was there, and they're watching us portray his friends basically dying. I was like, I don't know if I was him that I would be there. That's just like reliving that trauma again.
Right.
But maybe there was something that was cathartic for him in that,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like
Closure or something.
things happen, and in order to really heal through trauma, you have to allow yourself to go there and metabolize it, you know, and release it. And so maybe I hope that this is something that helps in that journey, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to check it out, man. Well, congratulations on everything. Meanwhile, Harold and the Purple Crayon is in theaters now. Be sure to check it out. Zach, thanks for hanging out, man.
Thanks, Mario. Good to see you.
On with Mario Lopez.